So, now, while I was beginning to shuffle my clarifying cards, I had one fall out, so I'm not going to ignore it. I'm going to throw it out here. Nine of Swords in the reverse position. So, some of you could have definitely been through a loss. Perhaps some of you have been very, very worried. Maybe some of you had nightmares. They would be subsiding now, but sometimes this can indicate that we're staying focused on what happened or something that we went through that caused us a lot of mental anguish and pain. You know, this can be a card of unfaithfulness in romantic relationships. So some of you could have dealt with a situation like that. Sometimes we can have a bit of an overactive imagination and then we're stuck in the past because we're just focusing on everything that went wrong and we're not moving forward. And we need to move forward. But the Nine of Swords in the reverse position is about the sun is going to come out tomorrow. You know, it's darkest before the dawn, but we will make it through this. A healing is taking place. Now, for a few of you, I do need to mention that this can indicate that you may have had surgery. And if you have had surgery, then you are recovering. The recovery could be a bit slow for some of you, but this can indicate a surgery. Yeah. Okay. So, our clarifying card for the Hanged Man is the Four of Pentacles. So, right off the bat, the Four of Pentacles, you know, this is about us having financial security, you know, working our hiney off, you know, to maintain that financial security. You know, sometimes there's a tendency to people look at us like we're greedy with our money. And it's not that we're greedy, it's just, you know, we had to work our hiney off to get it. And so some of us just may not be so ready to just hand our money over to just anyone. You know what I mean? So someone may think you're selfish, but that is simply their perception. Unless you really are being selfish, then call yourself out, you know. But the Four of Pentacles can indicate that you are definitely clinging on to something. I mean, do you see how hard she is hanging on to this pentacle in her hands? I mean, she's got both hands on it. She got her feet on the ones on the bottom. Like, yeah, don't try to take my pentacles. These are mine. So this can definitely indicate that you may be clinging maybe to your money, maybe to a person, maybe to a way of life, maybe to, you know, a certain situation. Maybe you have been clinging onto a situation that you need to move past. Maybe because you were clinging to it, you kind of put yourself in a state of, you know, stasis where you're not moving, you're not doing, I mean, you're definitely going within, but ultimately you're not moving forward. You're not moving out of this situation. You're clinging on to it. And with the Hanged Man, ultimately we need to make a sacrifice. I'm not saying sacrifice your money. I'm just saying you may need to make a sacrifice as far as making a change. Because with the Hanged Man, we're considering making a huge life change. And it is very common for us to want to hang on to what is familiar to us. And it can be a bit frightening to move forward into unknown territory. But in order for this, you know, change to fully manifest, you know, change of direction, we have to let it go. Because that's what the Hanged Man is about. We got to let it go. Okay, so then here's your advice card. So here we have the Lovers. So for some of you, again, The Lover's card people are automatically going to be like, oh, well, I'm not even in a relationship. What are you talking about? So this does not have to be a romantic relationship. It is for some of you, okay? But this could be a platonic relationship. This could be a marriage. This could be a romantic relationship. This could be a friendship. This could be a relationship, of, someone you're related to. This could be someone that you're in a business partnership with. But overall, you would have had feelings for this person, and when I say feelings, I mean you would have cared about this person. You care. Okay? But with the Lover's card in the reverse, it's definitely showing that a lack of harmony has taken place within a particular relationship, whether it be romantic or platonic in your life. And that is why you were contemplating making this huge change, but yet you're still clinging on probably to this relationship or this person, or maybe a way of thinking that, how this relationship should be. Because the Lover's card in general is about us having to make a choice, us having to make a decision. So for some of you, you may have to make a mind over heart decision, especially if it's resonating with you that you have a relationship with someone, like I said, romantic or platonic, and maybe you've been hanging on to it when you know you should ultimately let it go. Yeah, just sit with that momentarily. I may come back to it. Okay, so here was our circumstances card. We had the Devil in the reverse position. So the Devil is about, toxic karmic relationships. It's also about our obsessions. It's about our fears. It's about our addictions. 5 of Cups in the reverse position. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. So this is definitely indicating that you experienced a loss or a disappointment, probably within a romantic relationship. But again, it could be platonic, it could be a friendship. But there was a loss and a disappointment. And it would very much have ties. It's probably a karmic relationship. So that could have made it even more painful because, karma sometimes can be brutal. But with it being in the reverse position, your hope is renewed. Things are going to get better. You're healing. And then we also got the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position as well. So for some of you, this could have been, the Devil card is the Capricorn card. Okay? Queen of Pentacles, this could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So some of you could be dealing with someone from the earth element, but it doesn't have to necessarily be that. I mean, it could simply just be representing the energy, okay? But the Queen of Pentacles, when she's in the reverse position, she's definitely not showing her better side, okay? And this could be someone that you were dealing with, or maybe even something that you have taken on, personality-wise, from the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Now, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, typically she has suffered some sort of loss. A lot of times this is the material loss. And yeah, this just puts her in a really bad way. She's moody and she's detached. Unfortunately, the Queen of Pentacles, she can definitely, when she's in the reverse position with the Devil, thankfully the Devil is in the reverse position, so you're not going to allow yourself to be taken advantage of by someone. And that's good. You don't want to allow yourself to be taken advantage of. You need to know your own worth and know that you deserve better, okay? You don't want someone that's going to bring you down. But, Queen of Pentacles in the reverse, she's definitely suffering a loss. This makes her a not so nice person. She does become very moody and pessimistic. And, some of you could actually be a bit pessimistic, or maybe you were just simply dealing with someone that was pessimistic. For some of you, this could be perhaps a mother for some of you, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a woman. This could be someone that you would receive, nurturing from, perhaps maybe you felt like you had to try to fix someone, but it didn't work out. It just, led you to a loss and a disappointment, and now you're healing from it. And ultimately, you need to let this go because, it was a toxic situation. And with the devil in the reverse, you need to let it go. It's fear and, perhaps even an obsession or an addiction to something or someone is what kept you hanging on for so long, but it really wasn't to your benefit. So whatever it was, you just need to let it go. Oh, looky here. Then we get the Nine of Wands in the reverse position. This is our Moon and Sagittarius card. So with Nine of Wands in the reverse position, this is definitely indicating that you have fought long and hard. You probably did fight long and hard for whatever this situation is, and if you continue to keep yourself in a battle that is inevitably coming to an end, you can end up making yourself ill. Because with the Nine of Wands, this is definitely indicating that you don't have the physical stamina or the physical energy to keep doing this. And the emotional energy, you are like at the end of your rope. You don't have enough of that energy to keep battling with someone. It's simply just not worth it. It's not worth the fight. So you really just need to pull yourself back, and you need to take a time out. You need to rest. You really need to rest because you're very close to breaking yourself down emotionally, mentally, physically, especially physically. Okay? Sometimes we're pushing ourselves past, our point in a physical way. Maybe you're working too much, but all of this is leading to you being exhausted, so it's just definitely in your best interest to let this go. Because the devil in reverse, we are being released from that bondage. We are allowed to move forward. You don't need to keep fighting for something or for someone, okay? Because all it's going to do is wear you out and make you sick. And you don't need that. Sometimes, even if the person is worth it, sometimes we just need to let go and let God. Or let go, let the universe, whatever works for you, okay? Sometimes miracles, and personally in my life, every time I've ever truly let go and surrendered it, miracles happen. Things get turned around. And if they don't, then it just simply was not meant to be. And it is what it is. You just got to deal and move forward. And just know that you will heal. And you will be led to something much better down the road. And it just takes time for us to see that you couldn't have gotten to where you are and you're all happy, but you had to go through that situation in order to go through this new door that you went through that makes you happy. So there is a purpose for everything. No matter how crappy it may be, there is always a reason. And hey, you guys are the very souls of optimism. So channel that optimism, because that can really help you know that, tomorrow is a new day. We get a new chance tomorrow. We can make a change, Focus our thoughts on good things, that can really turn things around for us. Okay, so we have our focus card. We have the Chariot. As I refer to it, victory through adversity. We're definitely going after, one of our goals or one of our dreams. We're trying to achieve it. Okay, yeah, we got 2 here as well. Okay. So, two clarifying cards. We have the Fool and we have the Princess of Cups. So, the Princess of Cups, also known as the Page of Cups, you could be working towards getting into a relationship, or maybe you're wanting to get into a romantic relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. This could actually be a friendship as well. And maybe you have a great desire to, reconnect with someone. Sometimes this can indicate that, we want to reconnect with, an old friend. Maybe we had a falling out. And maybe we want a new start with this friend, and maybe this is, one of your goals. Maybe you may want to reconnect with an old lover. Maybe that is a new direction you're going in and you're trying to accomplish it. Maybe some of you have been, presented with a new opportunity to go in a new direction. You're going after a goal. Maybe this goal could be doing something in regards to art. Maybe some of you are wanting to do something with music. Maybe you're very artistic. Maybe you're very musically inclined. Maybe you want to, take up a career in that area. So this would definitely indicate forward movement towards it. This could also indicate that perhaps some of you just may be focused on wanting to get into a new relationship. Maybe you desire a new direction, a new person to love, and you're going after it. The Princess of Cups is also about us receiving messages of love or encouraging messages as well. Okay, yeah. So for advice, we get the Queen of Wands, typically Leo, but hey, Sagittarius is fire energy as well. So the Queen of Wands, she is a mover, she is a shaker. She's a very dominant force, okay? She's in a reverse position, so she's definitely not showing her best side. Now, the advice here with the Queen of Wands in reverse, go after your goal, okay? But do be careful that you do not become, too strict, domineering, bossy, pushy, or even arrogant, I mean, a lot of times when the Queen of Wands is in the reversed position, this is her aggressive side coming out rather than her creative side, so in reverse, this is the aggressive side. So you definitely want to be careful too. It's okay to pursue your goal, with a touch of with a touch of that, but you don't want to be overly aggressive, okay? I mean, you really got to be determined to go after something you want, but we don't want too much aggression because this can cause us to attract opposition. This can cause us to experience, difficulties in achieving what we want. And, this is really a beautiful set of cards here showing that we can really implement, a change of direction in regards to what we're achieving. We have the ability to go down any path or any direction that we want to right now. As long as you are very passionate about this direction, yeah, go for it. Just don't be overly aggressive. Don't be too pushy. Don't make any foolish decisions either.